President Cyril Ramaphosa and his ANC government added another weapon of mass destruction to its arsenal against biblical values, traditional marriage, the family, parental authority, and religious free speech when he signed the Hate Crimes Bill into law on the 9th of May. The purpose of the Prevention and Combating of Hate Crimes and Hate Speech Act is to silence citizens who oppose the ANC regime's ideological agenda. Speaking up against the state's assault on marriage, the family, the sexualization of children in schools, the erosion of parental authority, and religious free speech can now potentially get you prosecuted for a hate crime. Presumably, Ramaphosa signed the Hate Crimes Bill prior to the general elections on 29th of May under pressure from UN agencies, just in case the ANC loses its majority in Parliament. The Bible-believing church and Christians in general will be targeted by sexual rights radicals with malicious hate speech litigation for simply proclaiming the Bible's view on human sexuality. And while Ramaphosa ramps up his assault on faith, family, and freedom, he has the audacity to seek the support of the church for an ANC victory at the polls on 29th May. Ramaphosa told a church in Gugulethu recently, and I quote, "The church is still with us. We feel it, we see it, we sense it, and we are grateful." Over the years, the church has never abandoned the ANC. It's been part of the ANC. It's been inside the ANC, around the ANC, and underneath the ANC, supporting it all the time, end quote. However, the ANC government has done everything in its power to malign and ostracize the Christian church. Who can forget the sham consultation the Department of Education hosted with religious leaders on comprehensive sexuality education in January 2020, where UNESCO-trained activists attacked and mocked concerned Christian leaders for their so-called ignorance, hypocrisy, and sexual abuse. The ANC formulated the gender-neutral single marriage bill that strips men and women of their legal definition of marriage to equate it with same-sex and transgender unions. The ancient God-given institution of marriage will be redefined in law to appease LGBTQ radicals. Religious marriage officers will be compelled to solemnize same-sex unions and transgender unions. The ANC regime has amended the Basic Education Laws Bill, the Bella Bill, to extend state control of education to grant corrupt education officials unwarranted authority to determine the language, admission, and sex education policies in schools to indoctrinate innocent children. The ANC amended the Sexual Offences Bill to decriminalize the entire sex industry in South Africa, to make pimps, brothel owners, and criminal syndicates legitimate business people. It ignored the South African Law Reform Commission's warnings that decriminalized prostitution will be disastrous for vulnerable women and children because of the high rates of poverty, unemployment, and sexual abuse in South Africa. These policies and rampant ANC corruption, theft, fraud, money laundering, and racketeering indicate the governing party is no friend of the Bible-believing church. The ANC partners with the church only when it can manipulate it for its own nefarious ends. Ramaphosa and his corrupt administration is ramping up its assault on faith, family, and freedom, even as we observe the annual International Day of Families on the 15th of May. The UN Universal Declaration on Human Rights declares, and I quote, "The family is the natural and fundamental group unit of society and is entitled to protection by society and the state," end quote. Despite the South African government being a signatory to this UN document and therefore obligated to protect and preserve the natural family, it has aligned itself with global groups seeking the destruction of the family unit. The results of ANC anti-family policies over the past years are catastrophic. After 3 decades of ANC misrule, the family is devastated and children are the most affected victims. Teen pregnancies and teen abortions have skyrocketed in South Africa. Children often die of hunger in ANC-governed South Africa. Less than 35% of children live with both biological parents, while fatherless homes have contributed to soaring crime rates and massively increased dependence on state social welfare. UCT's Children Institute reports that more than 8 million children suffer from severe malnutrition in South Africa, while ANC cadres loot billions from state coffers with impunity. Sexual abuse and violence against women and children escalate alarmingly as the ANC legitimizes the sex slave industry. The majority of young people, many from broken and dysfunctional homes, are unemployed or unemployable. The ANC has dumbed down education and replaced it with sexual indoctrination. The future of the family looks bleak indeed under ANC misrule. As a result of family breakdown, almost half the population is now 100% dependent on state welfare. Consequently, any church aligned with the ANC to support its victory at the polls cannot rightly claim to be aligned with the head of the church, the Lord Jesus Christ. For what harmony has Christ with Belial? Or what fellowship has light with darkness, or good with evil? The scriptures ask. Ramaphosa and his ANC regime's satanic war on the family is a clear indication of their allegiance, and it's not the God of the Bible. You and I must declare our allegiance today.